Shalom and welcome to International Headquarters here in Miami, Florida. This is the Day of Atonement 89, Part 1.
Praise Yahweh. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Kazak Ve'ematz. Baruch Hashem, Yahweh. How do we love Yahweh? How do we love our brothers and sisters? Praise Yahweh. What is our motto? Our motto is one God, one mind, one love, and one act. We're all for one. And one for all. And do we want for our brothers and sisters? What we want for ourselves. What about soup? If I have a bowl of soup, you may have half of my bowl of soup. And anything else? And anything else. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. You may be seated. Praise Yahweh. Welcome to International Headquarters for the Nation of Yahweh, the Nation of Israel, tribe of Judah, children of Jacob, where we learn our true history, culture, and language is Hebrew, that our nationality is Hebrew Israelite, our common last name is Israel, and we were given a homeland forever through our patriarchal father Abraham. Tiny part that is called Israel today, all of North Africa, belongs to us historically, so that we could claim a place in the sun as all other nations do, until the coming of the Son of Yahweh, who is here to give you a much greater territory than that which was given to Abraham. I'm come to give you the planet Earth, the universe, the galaxy, and all that exists, seen and unseen. It belongs to you because it belongs to me. And with that, welcome to Day of Atonement 1989. After the Feast of Tabernacles, we will resume nationwide keeping the Shabbat. And I'll celebrate that at headquarters simply by that being our class night. So after the feast, class night will be sundown Thursday, and we'll end sundown Friday. Praise Yahweh. That will be class night instead of Saturday nights. And if you don't have a temple to observe Shabbat in the country, observe it at home. Because keeping the law is what's important. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Yahweh will bless us as a nation by keeping the law. So we will be setting that example. I want to share with you, it's not that we forgot Shabbat, but I just don't hear as many people saying Shabbat Shalom as I used to. I used to hear that every week, and I've grown to miss it. So since I miss it, then I know how to make at least those who live in this city remind me that it's Shabbat. So we'll have class on Shabbat. Then I know we'll say Shabbat Shalom. And the only thing that I'll understand is, of course, those who have secular jobs, then the only way you'll keep eating in America until Yahweh takes control is you be on your secular job. But the rest of us, except for that requirement, we will be observing Shabbat, as we always do. Only we're going to really observe it. It'll be a day of studying, except for those who have to work. You say, well, how does the Jew keep Shabbat every Friday night. It's simply that he hires other people to run his businesses that are what you call essential business. Like his hotel's never shut down, but that's because he has Gentiles, Goyim, and other people run it for him. And then he keeps it. You understand? Glory. I'm not crazy, and neither shall you be. I want to share a letter from Tamar Mirab. Dear Yahweh ben Yahweh, sir, this is a letter to express my gratitude and appreciation to you for being so altruistic and sharing your undying, unyielding, unrelentless love with me. It is through your commitment and dedication to the establishment of the kingdom of Yahweh that I am here, standing so strongly committed to this worthy cause. No matter what evil force comes and tries to hinder you from establishing theocracy, you are ever busy establishing the kingdom of good. Praise Yahweh. I thank you for being so devoted to your Father's will. In John 5:20. Another letter. Giving all exaltations to our Maestro Yahweh and to his most magnanimous, noble, refined, regal, and royal servant and son, Yahweh ben Yahweh, the Redeemer of the world. Praise Yahweh. Shalom Aleichem, dear Yahweh ben Yahweh, sir. It is supremely my ultimate desire to write and express to you my overwhelming thanks, appreciation, and gratitude for your unquestionable, inexhaustible, and unpenetrable dedication, commitment, and devotion to our microcosmic nation, the nation of Yahweh. On September 6th, memorial blowing of trumpet, you did something that was very precious to me. Unlike any ordinary man on the planet, you indubitably demonstrated to our nation that you transcend the norm. You irrefutably proved that in spite of all the forces that come against you, mainly the forces of evil, whether they be thrones, dominions, kingdoms, or principalities and powers, that you stand steadfast to the exaltation and glorification of the ineffable name Yahweh, as well as the empowerment, happiness, prosperity, pulchritude, and growth of our nation. Praise Yahweh. This, in turn, proves to the world that though the media grimaces and distorts the features of you, Yahweh ben Yahweh, sir, you have the power to outthink Satan, establish peace and happiness in the earth, and set up your theocratic government which shall never be destroyed. Daniel 2:44. In concluding my letter, I must say, Toda Yahweh ben Yahweh, sir, for your faithfulness and steadfastness of heart. For if you were any kind of man, or the average man of today's world, you would have fled and left us all hanging on a limb. You have truly proved to me, as well as convinced me, that you are who you proclaim to be, God, the Son of God, Yahweh in the flesh as the Son, love always, Keziah, Israel. 2 Yahweh University letters. Bless you. Day of Atonement. Question: why are we catching hell in America? President George Bush has declared war on drugs. Before he could declare war on drugs, he had to introduce drugs into the black community. There are only a few hundred suppliers, and there are millions of users. And yet President Bush, with his deceptive government, have come up with the brilliant idea to allocate a few pennies called $8 billion to entrap, catch, arrest all users and casual users by the millions while overlooking the few hundred suppliers. What hypocrisy. And what is so sinister about it all is the war on drugs just happens to take place in the black ghettos. And all of the news media and all of the television shows only black neighborhoods where crack is being shown, and they call it America under siege and the plagues of America. It is indeed a plague, and I understand the plague, but what I'm calling your attention to is, do you understand the game? And after you understand the game, then the rest is up to you what you want to do about it. But at least understand the game. War on drugs is war on black folks. And billions of dollars are allocated for building prisons and opening concentration camps called military bases. I warned you 5 years ago about FEMA. I warned you that they would turn and use drugs and use the word terrorism. And now through Colombia, they call the drug cartels and the drug suppliers terrorists. And therefore, you who deal drugs in America are classified as terrorists. And the man that is the czar, the ruler over the drugs, as appointed by President Bush, has been recorded saying he would like to cut off the head of every drug dealer. Now, after you cut off the head of the drug dealer, he didn't say cut off the head of the supplier. He said, you hear me well. He said cut off the head of the drug dealer, and then all you see is black pictures. After you cut off the head of the drug dealer, then you're going to cut off the head of the drug user. Once again, only black pictures. And then what? Society will suddenly and miraculously be wonderful and peaceful again. What a lie. The problem in America is not drugs. And as I said, I made a shocking announcement a month ago. I'm not against drugs. Yeah, I thought I'd be quiet for a minute and let the shock penetrate your head, because I know you're shocked. God is not against drugs. No. And no more than I'm against a snake. Why should God be against something that he made? Even your mama and your grandmama is not against drugs. She's a liar if she says she is. If she's against drugs, there would be no aspirins in your cabinets. And you'd be happy to walk around with gonorrhea. So a lot of you are happy about drugs. Every one of you that's been burned with gonorrhea, yeah, you say, bring on the drug. Don't you tell me different. And there's a lot of sickness and disease that drugs cure. So drugs is not the problem. No, I'm not against drugs being used to cure and to heal. I'm for a drug-free society. I'm for people having the strength of character that will cause them to never abuse any substance, whether it be a drug or alcohol or food. Because I read in my book, you are just as wicked to overeat and be a glutton. And the penalty is the same for being a glutton as it is to be a drug addict, called a drunkard, you know. Hey, wake up. Face it. What are you going to tell me? I'm against food? I'm not. I'm not against food. If you can shoot me up with something to keep me from getting polio and I know it's coming, shoot me. You know that's what you say. So is the problem drugs? I'm the only one telling the world here quietly, drugs is not the problem in our community. We had a ghetto before there were drugs. We were killing each other every weekend when there were no drugs. Oh, come on. You're going to pretend you haven't heard about Friday night? I just got paid. And you can add a lot of rhymes to that. And I'm going looking to see if I can be after I got paid. You know how it is. I said drugs is not the problem in our community. The problem in our community is we are not at one with our Creator, Yahweh. That's the problem. And because we have not made our atonement with Yahweh, then destruction is the result. And I know it's a shock for you to have to absorb this, but you have to face the reality that the cause of our problem is not drugs. The cause of our problem is we've turned our back on our God, Yahweh, so the world is out of balance. What do you expect to happen in a country where God is not held in high regard? Where people talk about God but deny his power. People walk around with the form of godliness but deny the power of God. What do you think is supposed to happen to a country like that? And that's why Yahweh said, have you seen the treasures of my snow? You've seen the treasure that I reserved for the day of war. And America is having a snowstorm. And it's on 24 hours a day. And if you don't know what snow is, go to your dictionary. Snow, look it up. It's that white stuff you suck up your nose and put in a Coke can and in a glass pint. Look it up in your book. I'm happy when I see any of my children. You know, I try to save things so long, but I'm happy when anybody studies and follow what I say about studying. It just makes me feel good. But see, the book says you will be destroyed. My enemies. Who are my enemies? My people that I come to. You want to blame the white man. But what about the black man who belongs to Yahweh but deny Yahweh, won't accept Yahweh, won't follow Yahweh, won't obey Yahweh? That makes you an enemy.
Now look that up. Before you feel too bad about yourself, look that up. We're talking about Day of Atonement. The only way that you can atone is face what you're doing wrong. And when you face what you're doing wrong, then, and only then, can you get right. And it's all about getting right. And when you're an enemy to your God, then your enemy gets after you. And he'll get you too. He can get after me all he wants to. I really don't give, you know how I am. I don't give a hoot about the devil because I'm living perfect, I'm living holy, and I'm living right. So I'm not afraid of the devil. And neither do you have to be afraid of the devil when you live right. The only way he'll get you is you turn away from me. He'll whoop, he'll howl like a wolf and bay at the moon, but he'll just hang back. You'll be wondering why he don't come. Well, he can't come as long as you live at one with Yahweh. He just can't get you. But if you don't worship Yahweh and serve Yahweh, he'll get you. I have a whole army of black devils trying to get me, but they can't get me. How you gonna get God? You can't get God. This planet exists before I took up this body. So its existence isn't disturbed by my body. Anybody understand? See, before I took up this body, my sun was shining, the moon was up. Everybody that I read and talked to told me it was. So it was. Oh, my people, you're in trouble until you return to Yahweh. Now, Yahweh knows how to get after you. He knows how to destroy his enemies. He said, I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to make war against my enemies with snow. And I got a treasure house. He said, I'm going to burn them with fire and brimstone. Now, brimstone is a rock. And rock is cocaine. That's that coke that you set that rock on fire. And it looks just like brimstone. It's fire and brimstone. And then Yahweh said he's going to drop 100 pounds of ice on you. And men will be cursing because of the plague of the ice coming out of heaven. Now they have ice coming out of Hawaii. They call it ice crystals. And I saw it. It looked just like ice. And it's worse than crack. Yahweh is going to get all of you that don't submit to me. Once you take that hit, once it hits you, then you go chasing it. You may start off fat, but when crack gets through with you, you'll be skinny. That's destruction from the Creator. It's not an accident. And now there's a war on Jacob. And I told you Jacob's trouble was coming. We're living in the day of Jacob's trouble. but some will be saved out of it. But my book said 2/3 will be cut off. 2/3 of my people are going to be cut. Hey, y'all know you look like this is brand new teaching, but I've taught you this for years. 2/3 is 66 and 2/3%. 66% of our people are going to be completely cut off. They're going to go for the drugs and the ice and the snow and the fire and the brimstone and the torment. Don't tell me they're not tormented. You all are waiting for hell to come. Hell is here. And if you don't believe hell is here, dress up, look good, and walk through the ghetto. They will show you what hell is about. Just walk on through like everything is all right. I don't believe you can walk from one side of the ghetto to the other without being ripped off. Not looking good. You better look raggedy and have no shoes on, stink and funky and hair matted all up outside your head. Then you can walk through. Nigga might let you walk through unmolested. Put on your little brass necklace and walk through here. He'll think it's gold and snatch your neck off. Yes, he will. My people are so destroyed, they don't know what real money is. They'll snatch real money. That's the goal. Run to the deceiver and give up the real wealth for some paper. The fool got nothing but real stuff in his hand. Now you know that's destroyed. That you'll trade the real gold for paper. Guess what the man that you take it to keeps? He keeps the gold. Think about it. We've been destroyed. Why are we catching hell in America? Turn our backs on Yahweh. My people need to atone. It is obvious to the world that the so-called blacks of America are destroyed as a people. It's obvious. It's even obvious to you. The world has always known we've been destroyed. But now, my people have finally come to understand we've been destroyed. And I've never seen so many black folks sitting up in the White House and in Congress. And, you know, it's on national TV. I mean, here's all these niggas and entertainers and sports figures. I start on CNN tonight. Huh? Trying to give answers to the problem. The blind. Trying to lead the blind. Even Jesse tonight, he alluded to the fact that it's about morals, that the real solution is he in effect said God. But he didn't get off into that. You know, he would rather solve the problem without Yahweh. And when your child goes to public school, you got a serious problem on your hands. You just don't know when your child is going to be hooked. Because everything in the school is trying to hook them on something. That's real. And while the world is showing their problems, I have built and created and founded a microcosmic nation, a microcosmic society, proving that I have the total solution to all the problems. No drugs in our schools. They're not going to ever be any drugs in our state. We know how not to have any drugs on the block. And how not to have any in the country or on the planet. Oh, I know how. I already proved it. It's called Be Ye Not Unequally Yoked. See, I have the answer. I told you I have the answer. Be ye not unequally yoked. I don't use drugs. So you can't walk with me unless you agree with me. That's simple. How can two walk together unless they agree? What fellowship has darkness with light? I'm the light. The only way you can walk with me is in the light. When I walk around you, I overshadow you. Because I'm light. Darkness has no power over light. So I have the answer. It's easy. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why are my people catching hell? Because they have rejected knowledge of Yahweh. They've rejected just about any kind of knowledge except, hey, yo, my man. I'm down, you know. This is depth. I'll be learning some new words around. You know, this is a depth jam, man. This is depth. Wow. You have to have a new vocabulary to run around our people because they are always creating something that's... They now have out there in the community bazookas. How many know what a bazooka is? No, you know, what is a bazooka? No, it isn't. See, you're not hip. You've been working too hard. You've been good. Now, who knows what bazooka is? What is it? Yeah, it's the waste byproduct, the garbage from cocaine. You know, it's like the filters and all that stuff that when they get through with it and all the garbage that, you know, they get that stuff and gather it up, and it's so, when they whatever they do with it, smoke it, shoot it or whatever, it's like a bazooka. One shot to blow the whole building down. A bazooka can shoot a tank and blow a tank up. That's what a bazooka, and so you know what that does to your brain. Nigga be stone crazy. Why are we like this? Because we rejected knowledge. And because you reject knowledge, I have also rejected those who reject knowledge. And those who reject my knowledge cannot be a priest to me. When you reject my knowledge, how can you represent me? You cannot represent me. You may put on white, but that doesn't make you right. It is clear to me and clear to the world that you have forgotten the law of your God, Yahweh. And since that's the case, I will also forget your children. I cannot remember the children of the crack addict when the child is born a crack addict. the child is born shaking and trembling and on withdrawal symptoms. And born in many cases, the mother is on crack during the entire pregnancy. That child is born an addict and will have a mental problem and an emotional problem all its life. How can I remember something that can't remember what it is? We'll never come to know that it's human. Just walk around like that little boy, little black boy on that program last night. He's about 11 to 14 years old, and they asked him, he had one of those Coca-Cola cans smoking something out of it. I know it was crack. And he was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, take out the garbage. That's his ambition in life, is carry out garbage. And he didn't say, be a trash man. He said, take out the garbage. Pick up garbage. That's his drive in life. How can you remember a child like that? Hosea 4:6, get your Bible, please. This is what atonement is about, remembering the knowledge of Yahweh. Day of Atonement is about receiving the knowledge of Yahweh. And to receive the knowledge of Yahweh is not for it to go through your head and on out somewhere else, but to remain inside your head and you practice it. Hosea 4:6, read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I will also forget thy children.
Yahweh has given us laws to follow forever. I've taught you over the years that all of creation basically follows the laws that Yahweh has set for that creation by instinct. The human family, the family of men, are the only ones born without an instinctual law except to suck and eliminate waste. But knowledge is taught, it's learned. And the only way that we can become complete is to receive and practice the laws of our Creator, Yahweh. And what's so fascinating is free choice. That's what's so fascinating. Some of you who love to exhibit a weak character say, well, boy, it sure would be nice if Yahweh just fixed me where I couldn't disobey him. How many wish they were like that? That it was just fix me where I can't disobey. Well, that's the way cows are. And horses and dogs. Maybe that's what your grandmother meant when she called you heifer. You little heifer is, you know, hey, you already fixed by instinct, I guess. You're like a cow. But what is required is what? Law. They're divine. And we have free choice. We're blessed when we keep Yahweh's law. Did you hear me? Let's turn to Deuteronomy chapter 28. I said we are blessed when we keep Yahweh's laws. Deuteronomy chapter 28 proves we are blessed when we keep Yahweh's law. Verses 1 and 2 read.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God Yahweh will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh.
Here I'm reading, you cannot outrun the blessing, no matter how fast you are. If you do all that Yahweh commands. If you do all which I command you this day, you cannot outrun your blessing. They will overtake you. Now, my people are saying they would rather bless themselves than be blessed by Yahweh. So we see the condition of the ghetto, where my people make that statement. But I don't need nobody telling me what to do. And I heard them on TV last night, 48 hours, they said, Charlie. They were calling crack Charlie. Somebody. They had new names for crack last night. I heard several names. They said, crack tells you what to do. And you do what crack tells you. Crack says, I want some more. And you say, yes, sir, Mr. Crack. They showed a rat that was trained and hit a lever to eat. And he used to come and punch that lever and eat all day, every day. Then they hooked him up to cocaine, to crack. They hooked him up, and then he could punch that lever and get a hit. And I watched that rat. All he would do was go take a hit. He wouldn't stop and eat nothing. He took a hit till he died. He'd come out and look around for a minute, run back and take a hit. And he would get high, and he'd come out and then look around, and boy, he'd go back in and get a hit. And he did it till he died. And whenever you see a real skinny person walking through the ghetto, you can put your money down. That's a crack addict. All crack addicts skinny? No. They just on their way. It may take a few years depending on how fat you are when you start. Imagine saying to God, I don't want you telling me what to do, but you do something that a rock tells you. You obey a rock. a chemical substance. Now we all know you are steady doing whatever the wicked one lay before you to do. Constantly. You have wicked friends when you wicked. And the wicked entice you to do more wickedness. That's the way life is. We all been in life. The way life is. You run with the thief, what will the thief talk you into doing? How long will he try to talk you into stealing? As long as you run with it. You may never steal, but he'll never stop asking you to. And guess what? He will also steal from you. I said, we are blessed when we keep the laws of Yahweh. They will overtake you. You cannot outrun them. All you have to do is all I command you. Now, what's so hard about doing what Yahweh laid out for you to be blessed? And you run around hollering, I sure want to be blessed. I sure would like to be blessed. I would sure like to be rich. Well, here, I have the pattern for you right here. Yahweh. Well, see, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I want to be free. Well, you are free to not be blessed. We suffer and catch hell when we break Yahweh's law. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 and 16. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Read on.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
That means whether you're in town or out of town, in the city or in the suburbs, niggas are going to come and get you wherever you are. What do you mean niggas going to come and get you? They're going to break in your house. You can run to the hills, but you'll get no help. I went around the city last weekend. It wasn't Miami, it was another city. And they fled all out to the mountains and the hills. You wouldn't believe houses up in those hills. Niggas have found the hills. When they leave the hills and drive 2 hours to get in town to go to work, niggas been at work all day in the hills. When you come home from work, you know somebody been at work in your house because your house is empty. You leave somebody in the house that killed the person you leave in the house. People now running from the hills. I don't know where they're going. Shuttles are not ready. You know, the shuttles, they're not ready for the moon and all. They're not ready. But all these curses are catching you, whether you're in town or out of town. Verse 17, read.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Curse is inside your basket. Pig and everything else, you don't care about what you eat. If you try to own the store, you're still under a curse. Next verse, read.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Curses. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
You curse coming into the world, and they curse you when you die, going out. And they rob your family going out, they rob your family coming in, and they rob your family when you go out. They charge you $3,000 or $4,000 to be born, charge you $3,000 or $4,000 to be buried. You don't get to enjoy either one. And then in between that time, you're under curses. Anybody ever seen the ghetto lately? How many have seen a ghetto lately? I mean, you've driven through, passed through or something. You seen one? I don't know why you didn't see one. Y'all haven't driven. Every time you go down 62nd Street, you're in the ghetto. Boy, y'all must think that's home or something. What do you want? You think it's a trick? You don't want to raise your hand because you think it's a trick? How many seen the ghetto lately? I thought you had. Terrible looking place. Desolate. Wretched. It looks like people are just walking dead. Look like zombies. I mean, our people look like they are the lord of the trash pile. Well, Tarzan is lord of the jungle. My people look like they're the lord of the trash pile. They sitting on crates and in the midst of garbage, just like this is wonderful kingdom. What a wonderful kingdom to be in. People are just coming to it and they all gathered around the trash. I mean, it's amazing. And they walk so proud with no shoes on, shoes run over them. Yeah, you know, they just wear anything. They don't care about anything. On TV last night they said, so what you care about? I said, nothing. I'll kill anybody, anything to get in my way. Just anybody get in the way of my next hit. They're right open about it. Say, I'm violent, I'll do violence, I'll lose control. Some of them were working for the city. And you wonder why people will run over you out there. They don't see you. And in Miami, South Florida, you cut in front of somebody, they might shoot you. You have to be careful. Don't even honk. I see people acting crazy and driving crazy. I don't even honk. I start to honk. I say, shoot. All right on, fella. You got that right. You want the road? You got it. I don't mind slowing down at all. Anybody know I'm telling the truth? These folks just so shoot you and look at you. The fiery furnace is on. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is in it. And only you who are the Hebrew boys and the Hebrew girls have somebody cooling the flame down for you. I'm keeping the flame off of you. You're the only one. Praise Yahweh. You see, when you study that story, you see where the guards, the people that was guarding Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and took him and threw him in the fiery furnace, see, it killed, the heat of the flame killed him. So the people that have put the drugs in our community and have us killing ourselves is also killing them now. I don't know how they got the door shut. But I know that when we get through walking around in and out through these ghettos where all this is going on, you won't smell no smoke on us. Not a hair of our head will be singed. Huh? Yes, Yahweh. And some have studied, like I told them in my 8-page report, you better not touch a hair of my head, and you look up hair. That means my possession. That's what hair means, my possession and my wealth. Yeah, right. See, when we come out of this, we will have plenty of possession and wealth. Yes. Well, I don't care what Satan wants to do. It doesn't matter. He can't do nothing but what I let him do. He doesn't have any power over me. He can't do a thing but what I let him do. You watch me and you'll see. I know I'm incredible, but I'm with the right man. That's right. Praise Yahweh. Satan cannot outsmart God. Curses for those who break the laws of Yahweh. Curses. The Day of Atonement is a statute that is to be observed annually as the only fast day prescribed in our law. So from sundown today until sundown tomorrow, no food. Only my little babies that nurse. Only those that's on the tit will eat tomorrow, from now until tomorrow night. The rest of you will know what hunger is. You've been acting bad in school or acting bad anywhere, then that tells you you'll starve to death if you don't be good. And every time you get hungry, you say, oh my Yahweh, this is the Day of Atonement. I sure don't want to be hungry all my life. I'm going to be good. Yahweh University understand what it's about? It's about being good, obeying Yahweh. So you won't eat tomorrow, and you'll remember about being good all day. So will you big ones. And you'll have to be careful because food is like addiction, you know. You'll just have picked up a cookie and forgot. Yeah. I mean, your hand will be going off in that box and you won't even know, hand, what you doing in there? You better come out that box. What's wrong with you, hand? You'll walk by a bread stack unconsciously and go in there and this is going to get you an air sandwich. Hand, you better come on out that bread. Several of you will be making your daily visit to the grocery store. And you'll have that piece of fruit in your hand. And I want all my cashiers to remind them tomorrow, this is atonement. And you're going to say, oh, Lord. Sure is. Sure is. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 16. Leviticus chapter 16. Verse 29, 30, and 31. Read.
And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your soul, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourneth among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before the Lord Yahweh. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your soul by a statute forever.
Praise Yahweh. Very serious. Read the next verse, 32. Read it.
And the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments.
Verse 34. Read.
And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. And he did as the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses.
When is Shabbat? When? When is our class going to be from now on this year? Sundown Thursday. Okay, good. This is a statute forever. Day of Atonement.
This concludes part 1 of Day of Atonement 1989.